Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today for video number 2 out of 2. If you did not catch video number 1 earlier on today, I will leave a link for you guys right here. This was about Timo Werner to Tottenham, my thoughts on that, as well as Nkunku being out for 3 weeks. Although later on, we heard that that might not be the case. I will go into a little bit more detail later on in this video, so stay tuned as I will address that. But we're going to start off with the big elephant in the room. Actually, no, sorry. Wrong animal. The big fish in the room. Oh, sorry. Is there bigger fish to fry? Ha! Apparently so. But I'm sure there isn't. It's just like going to a fishmonger's and waiting for them to hand you over a shark and you get a sardine. There's not going to be any bigger fish to fry. I'm sorry. Arsenal Football Club look like they're in the mud. And we're about to drop themselves into detail as to how this has all gone down. From a proper, realistic perspective, I'm going to try and say it for exactly how I see it. And we're going to get into the detail. Before we do, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Much appreciated. Let's get cracking. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. Arsenal out the FA Cup in the third round. Obviously, look, there was always going to be a big team eliminated in the third round. It was either going to be Arsenal or it was going to be Liverpool. Now, going into this game, the problem for Arsenal is that Liverpool showed up without Mo Salah, because Salah is with Egypt getting ready for the Africa Cup of Nations, which is kicking off very, very soon. So make sure you are here for the content I am going to drop around the AFCON. Salah is away. Van Dijk had an illness and he couldn't play today because he wasn't feeling well when he's ill. So there's that. With those two players out, that's who Liverpool played, right? The rest of the team were there and available and ready to go. But Arsenal had everyone available pretty much. You know, Saka's there, Havertz is there, Odegaard is there, Rice is there, Saliba's there, Ramsdale's there, everyone's there. Later on, Martinelli came on, like everyone's there. Trossard, Arsenal's team were available. That first half, I have to say, is absolutely incredible how toothless Arsenal were looking up front. Listen, you could say the same to an extent in terms of Liverpool in that first half, but the thing with Liverpool is Jurgen Klopp was able to make certain adjustments that managed to get Liverpool up and running. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta, nothing. Now with Arsenal, there were players, like I said, up top that were looking toothless. Kai Havertz was missing for fun. Saka looked like he hadn't played a minute of senior football in his life. I mean, he looked like a 16-year-old that was scared to touch the ball. Every time he did, he went wrong. He fluffed it, or he hit it off for a goal kick, or he's whacked it up into the stand or something. Unbelievable. Everything in terms of the build-up for Arsenal in that first half looked pretty decent. Liverpool looked like they were just waiting to sit back. They were sitting back, containing, watching, analysing, and then trying to hit the counter-attack. And Arsenal weren't really caught out too many times in the first half, but they weren't doing anything with the balls that they did have. And then you get into the second half, and you expect Arsenal to take it up to another level now. Put even more pressure on. Try and actually just force this ball into the net, right? Nah. In fact, it changed. And you know what's crazy? Despite Liverpool having players like Younes missing what he missed, Arsenal hit the bar, Liverpool hit the bar, it looked like a fairly even playing field up until before Jota came on and he brought on those two kids. He brought on Clark and he brought on Bradley, if I'm remembering the names correctly, Jurgen Klopp for Liverpool. Somehow that's when the game changed, and that's when Liverpool all of a sudden went on an onslaught. They were dominating the ball. They were going on after attack after attack after attack. Arsenal looked like they ran out of ideas. And Mikel Arteta and his substitutions, I'm like, what are you doing, mate? The fact that he took off Reece Nelson instead of Bukayo Saka to bring on Martinelli said it all. And on paper, you would agree with that. But during today's game, There were players in that front line, specifically Saka and Kai Havertz. But you know what? I'm going to say this about Kai Havertz. I've said this tons of times. You're talking to a Chelsea fan. We've been down this road. We've been down this path. We've tried and tested all of this. We know all of this before you lot, gooners. Yeah, so you should have listened to us to an extent, yeah. He can't play centre forward. I would much rather play him as an attacking midfielder, as a left-sided midfielder, as a right-sided midfielder, than stick him up top as a centre forward. And that is what Arteta did. And what was crazy is before the game, I heard Martin Keown went, I think Kai Havertz's best position is up front. And I'm like, what football have you been watching over the last 3 years? You know, unbelievable scenes, Jeff. He's not a centre forward. He's not. And look, Kai Havertz, much like Timo Werner at Tottenham, is going to do it now, yeah, at Spurs. He's going to score some. He's going to get 4-5 goals in the season. He is going to put the ball in the net. But it's when that ball does go into the net for the first few times, the thing to do is not get carried away. It's actually incredible. I saw some fans talking about how, Arsenal need to pay us more money as a joke. You know, like Chelsea, let us pay you more money for what you gave us. I'm like, mate, he's bagged in these first few goals for Arsenal. Relax. And we're seeing it now. The consistency is heading out the window. But he's not a centre forward. Saka, on his traditional right-wing position, was atrocious. Saka has fallen off so hard. It's ridiculous. But I have to say, this is, I think, a consequence. There is a part to play here with Arteta. I think Arteta has taken this team as far as he possibly can. And this is why I'm mentioning what I'm mentioning. I am putting this point home again. Arteta has hit his ceiling. It's done. He won't do as well as he did last season either, for anyone waiting for that to happen. It's not happening. The season's already unfolding. It's already capitulating right in front of all our eyes. And they were meant to have made upgrades. But it goes to show that Arteta cannot manage any further than what he's already taken them to. That's the limit. So there's that. But when you look at a player like Saka, I think this is the consequence. And this happens specifically in England. And we've had tons of examples over the years. But this is what happens when the media gets players to peak too early. Saka's still very young when you think about it. And the media in this country have already portrayed Saka as England's wonder boy. He is England's main man now. He is England's this, England's that. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. He's everything. And what money is he on now? At his age, what money is he on now? I remember when that contract came out and I criticised it. I was like, you lot are mad. To give a player of that age that much money. Actually, I'm sure he's on. Is he on 300 a week now? Let's have a look. He's on. If we're going to 300k a week. Unbelievable. It's £288,000 a week at 21 years old. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. Massive. You can't do that. In his head, he's made it. You're taking away the little bit of motivation that he needs to develop as a footballer by giving him that much money that early. You just are. That's just the way life is. Unless you land that one in a million special player that doesn't care about money whatsoever. He just wants to be the best. You know, the next Ronaldo or Messi or But this is what happens. This is the consequence of it. The media have peaked him too early. And they've given him this false sense of an idea that he is it. Nah, mate, you got tons to do. You got a long way to go. But this is what we're doing. And this is why I criticize Chelsea by just relying on young players. You can't do that. You can't do it. Now, this is what Arsenal did before. When they were looking at just picking up young players here, young players there, and there was no real, proper pedigree in that team. And then they did start to make signings like Jesus, Zinchenko, they got Declan Rice in. You're thinking, this is an upgrade. Yeah, this is going to take, but some would argue Kai Havertz. In terms of experience, perhaps. In terms of what he's won, yeah. But in terms of where is this team going to be taken, Arteta cannot take the team to the next level. He's hit the limit. So this is why I'm saying, if this Arsenal team had, for example, a Jurgen Klopp was able to bring on 2 kids, change the game tactically, and get Liverpool to run an onslaught. Mad. Absolutely mad. And it worked. It actually worked. So it's absolutely crucial at this level to be able to have an elite gaffer, an elite manager. You have to. If you want to win, you have to. Now, this is why Arsenal, once again, are going to go trophyless. Out the FA Cup. No, I was going to say Carling Cup. No Carabao Cup. You best believe they are getting knocked out the Champions League at some point. And they're not winning the league because Man City are going to run on an onslaught and Liverpool are going to be the ones behind them to catch up for a little bit, I reckon. It's going to be between them two, in my opinion. And Arsenal. So once again, no contention for a trophy. Where are Arsenal headed? Where are they going? See, this is the point. This is why I want to hit home. It's important for any team, mine included, to know that you need to make sure you are putting yourself in a situation where you can compete for silverware and know you're in the conversation. And if you are, then fair enough and keep upgrading. If you're not, you got work to do and you need to analyse what you got and whether it's enough to take you where you want to go to. And for Arsenal, there just isn't. They're not there. They're not there. So big questions now. 1 win in 7 overall. Arteta, I feel like, look, the pressure needs to come on Arteta, man. It has to. It absolutely has to. Absolutely has to. And then Arsenal need to identify where they're going to go next and who they're going to bring in, if they do bring anyone else in. As I'm out of focus, and let me bring it back in. There we are. I'm out of focus like Arsenal. So let me know your thoughts on that game. The goal spoke for itself. There was no own goal from Kivior. The header that went straight in. I don't know what he was trying to do. He was headering. Why are you headering that way when your goal is that way and the way to clear is that way? What's this? Mad. And then the second goal, smashed roof of the net. Luis Diaz, thank you very much. Job done. Bob's your uncle. See you later. 2-0 at the Emirates and it shut shop. Again, without Salah, without Van Dijk, it could have been specifically Salah because Younes was missing a lot. Specifically Salah. If Salah was there, this game would have been killed much earlier, as far as I'm concerned. So big question marks for Arsenal. Big question marks for Arsenal. And like I said, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Let's see what happens going forward. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's get into a bit of the news before we wrap up the video, starting off with this absolute ridiculous story. Chelsea could move for the unhappy Jordan Henderson, which would increase the likelihood of Conor Gallagher moving on. Henderson is desperate to get back to the Premier League. Listen, I'm just going to say this. This, I think, is absolutely false. And I'm mentioning it just to clarify that point. Because surely Chelsea are not that stupid. If we are even thinking of Henderson, I know we ask for experience, but don't insult our intelligence, please. Don't take the mick. If this is your definition of going to get experience, 33 years old, washed up now in Saudi, morals all over the place, because he went to Saudi, now he's unsettled. Well, you should have known what you were walking into when you decided to accept that deal when you took the money. And fair enough, you want to take that money, I've got nothing against that. Go and get the bag, my friend. You've had a career. But don't try and come crawling back. I'm unsettled, I want to come back to the Premier League. It doesn't work that way. And Chelsea should not be the ones to entertain this, yeah? Because I honestly think he's not even got half a season left in his legs at the highest level. So what's the point? That's my problem. What's the point? His legs are gone. We don't need that. We need some sort of pedigree that can actually last. That would be nice. So, Jordan Henderson. No, I think it's false. But anyway, Pochettino was asked about this in the press conference after the game yesterday. Pochettino on Henderson to Chelsea. We didn't talk about names. At the moment, we are not talking about players. I saw Bedad with Paul and Lawrence. I think tomorrow we are going to have a chat. We didn't talk about the names or players. For now, we are focusing on players like Andre Santos. It goes to show just how hands-on Bedad Eghbali is. And you know what's funny? Bedad Eghbali. I came across It was a clip from Jose Feliciano, who's the co-partner, founder of Clearlake with Bedad Eghbali. They're partners. They're the ones who made Clearlake. So he's one of the principal owners of Chelsea Football Club. And he was doing a thing with Bloomberg. And this was about a year ago. And I've only, funnily enough, come and watched the entire thing. I didn't watch this before. I didn't know it was a thing. But he had a interview with a live audience for Bloomberg. And it's obviously business related. But he was talking about Chelsea. He got asked about Chelsea, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, man. I couldn't believe what I was. I mean, I can believe it. Now I look at the results and what we've done over the last 18 months. I can believe it. But the talk of how much they were looking into Chelsea Football Club as an investment, and out of his own words himself, that the aim is to make sure that they make Chelsea profitable. And even though winning or losing matches is important, but it's not as important as clearing up the finances at the club. His words, I swear, not mine. I'm baffled now. I'm baffled at how the direction everything's gone in. But we look at our transfer business now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually try and pull off something like a Jordan Henderson. I wouldn't be shocked. So I hope that's not the case. But Bedad Eghbali is very hands-on now with the sporting directors rather than just the sporting directors. And we'll see what happens this January transfer window. We'll see. But I'll be honest, I don't like where it's going. The hierarchy and the way we're conducting ourselves, I don't like it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Let's get into more player-related things now, starting off with Ian Maton. Borussia Dortmund have sent an official proposal to Chelsea for Ian Maton. It's for a loan. Negotiations are still ongoing and advanced. No surprises here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that we will be seeing Ian Maton join Borussia Dortmund at some point. And if it's going to be a loan, it will allow him to play. And then after that, in the summer, they will be able to increase his value and then buy him for a price that Chelsea will deem acceptable, so they can get some good money there. And it would be down as pure profit, obviously, because he came from the academy. So there's that. Now, Nkunku. What's going on with this whole Nkunku situation? Let's go into the detail, because it came out today, video number 1, where he's out for 3 weeks. And for people that want to say Rahman Osman doesn't know what he's talking about, right? We didn't hear about this guy since yesterday, but yesterday, all of a sudden he's a big deal. He's connected with the club. As of recently, he's connected with the club. He's a journalist that is connected with Chelsea. He's in the press room, every press conference. He has access. He's there. So he's got the connections now, right? He's not someone just creating something out of thin air. He's connected to the club. I can't stress it enough. In the same way Matt Law was attending press conferences, in the same way that others are, he is now. So we hear that. And then with the game yesterday going on, we heard from Pochettino, and he said this. Pochettino says Nkunku has injured his hip in training and are currently assessing, right? He said he wasn't involved because he suffered after training a problem in his hip. We need to see if he can be ready for the next few games. This is when Rahman Osman today come out this morning saying Christopher Nkunku is expected to be out for around 3 weeks with a hip injury. And then we get reports from France. We get Fabre Hawkins. We get Santiago Una. But Fabre Hawkins saying this. On Christopher Nkunku's hip injury, nothing serious. If all goes well, he will be there next week against Middlesbrough or Fulham. It was just prevention. He is fine. Now, it's pretty obvious that if Nkunku is okay, he will play. Am I correct? If Nkunku is okay, he will play. Because it's Nkunku. And he's key. He walks into the team. So, what I'm saying is, no conclusions, but on Tuesday, I'm not expecting him to just be on the bench. I'm expecting him to be on the pitch. And if he's not on the pitch, you best believe he's got a problem. Surely. Because Poch, in a semi-final of a competition where he knows it's his only shot of getting silverware, you best believe he's prioritising and he's playing in Nkunku if he can play. So if we don't see him play, you best believe there is a problem. And this is going to either acknowledge and justify what Rahman Osman has said, or if he does play, then it's going to acknowledge and justify what Fabre Hawkins and Santiago Una have said. So we will wait and see. That's all I'm going to say. Let's wait for Tuesday and see how it's all looking. Now, before we wrap up, Mbappe news. This is interesting, but I don't feel like anything has changed. Check this out. Kylian Mbappe, 25, is unimpressed by Real Madrid's attempts to sign him as a free agent and is now considering a switch to the Premier League. So, what's the latest? Saying Kylian Mbappe is unimpressed by Real Madrid's attempts to push him into signing a pre-contract agreement this month. He wants to explore a range of options, including a switch to the Premier League as a free agent. Now, again, I'm going to stick with the same thing that I said the last time I spoke about Mbappe. I think this is Mbappe forcing Real Madrid's hand into doing it on his terms, not on their terms, and to make sure that a deal is going to get done. Not like what happened last summer where everything was hanging in the balance and all of a sudden everything just fizzled out and nothing happened because PSG and Real Madrid weren't budging. Mbappe wants to make sure that this time people are budging. So I honestly think this is a way to just try and instill fear into Real Madrid and get them to move, because right now it looks like Real Madrid are trying to be as tactical as they can. So let's wait and see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts. But I do have to say, I reckon overall, in the end, I reckon Mbappe will be a Real Madrid man. 100%. Eventually, he will put on a Real Madrid top. It will happen. Will happen. So, let's see. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down below. Before we wrap, a couple of things. Here's this. Chelsea, Manchester United and AC Milan have asked for information on OGC Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo. Listen, did you just hear about one of the teams that were there? Chelsea, Man United, AC Milan. That's it. I said this before and I'll say it again. Man United. Why would Sir Jim Ratcliffe sell a defender to a competitor that he now has in the Premier League? Why? AC Milan have a chance, but Chelsea don't. No Premier League team does, except Man United. Because Ratcliffe. Very easy. Ratcliffe's footballing operation at Manchester United and Ratcliffe owning Nice, you do the maths, man. No one's competing with that. If he wants to move a player, he's moving him to United. Simple. So let me know your thoughts on that. And very sad news to wrap up on, unfortunately. I was gutted I heard this. Gutted. Check this out. Chelsea Football Club can confirm striker Sam Kerr has sustained an anterior cruciate ligament injury, ACL, during our warm weather training camp in Morocco. They're in Morocco at the moment. I saw some very, very nice images. Lauren James was crushing almonds in a traditional North African way I'm familiar with, because the culture is my culture as well. It was an Amazigh way. It's a Berber way. If you know about the Berbers and the Amazigh people across North Africa, Morocco, full of them, much like Algeria, Tunisia, Libya have. But Chelsea were in that environment in Agadir. They're in Agadir in Morocco. And I was watching, I was going, oh, man. And I've been to Agadir before. Loved it there. Brilliant. And I saw everything and I was like, oh, man, this is really nice. I'm seeing Chelsea and all this. This is really traditional things. And I'm like, this is great. And then I see Sam Kerr, ACL injury. Now, why I'm gutted is because of one thing. Sam Kerr will be back. It's not a problem. Sam Kerr will be back. But Sam Kerr is not going to play for Emma Hayes ever again. That's it. This is the equivalent of if Mourinho was at Chelsea and Mourinho's leaving at the end of the season and Drogba gets an ACL. It's the same. It's the same, right? And Drogba can't play again for Chelsea whilst this manager is here. It's the same. Sam Kerr will not play for Emma Hayes again. And that's just gutting, because that is something that needed to end on a big, beautiful note. And we're not going to get to see it, unfortunately. So, Sam Kerr, speedy recovery. Best wishes in your recovery. I'll be shocked. There's not enough time. 5 months, just under 5 months to the end of the season. Nah, I don't see it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. We'll see how the women's team do for the rest of the season without Sam Kerr. It's a big blow. She gets the goals. It's a big blow. Lauren James has to step in. Simple. And I'll see all of you tomorrow on a brand new video. So thank you all so much. Make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. Thank you all so much, people. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Take care. And peace.